How many hearts have you broken with those great big beautiful eyes? Those great big beautiful eyes that tell such beautiful lies.
How many times have you kissed somebody like you kissed me then? I don't.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all ships at sea. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an important message from the Prepared Mind Network.
Here we are, folks. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. And the creator of that very exciting intro, thank you, sir, very much. Good fun we're all having while the world actually takes an absolute crap in front of us all. That's right, we're at the Prepared Mind channel. Shit has hit the fan, and here we are. I do want to thank everyone, folks, all of you who have come over to Patreon, because it is making a difference. It's at one point, the screen will just go black. So, you know, what do? You know, all we can do is say, hey, do what you can. If you're on YouTube, be sure and subscribe at all the channels, the Prepared Mind, the BC channel, John, the Prepared Mind, and Prepared Mind John. All those links are down below in the description. Also, make sure you bookmark theRsyndicate.com as well as the preparedmind.club. And the R Syndicate, got a lot of new people here, folks. Got to explain it. The rsyndicate.com is a clearinghouse for all channels having to do with everything Patriot, prepping, politics, economics, canned food, yeah, everything. And that's Uman's channel there, and he's always doing an awesome job. Thank you, Jolene, for all the work you're doing, and thank you guys for being here. And you know, so what do we got going with Patreon? Well, this is it. That's right. They can't censor us on Patreon. Now I can't post all the videos I want over there, but I can link to other videos, news stories. But let's get into what I can talk about today right now. It's that bad, folks. Get this. There are Taliban fighters in Afghanistan. Guess what they're doing? They're wearing United States Army uniforms, equipment, helmets, everything. That's right. The Taliban can. All right. It's incredible. President Joe Biden has supplied the Taliban terrorist organization and all of their, you could say, accomplices, brothers in arms, all around the world, right? They've got several years worth of U.S. equipment. For them, it could be a lifetime supply. Who knows how they're going to end up using them? It should have all been destroyed or shipped back or something. Now, I've yet to hear once the president or the Secretary of Defense or the Joint Chiefs or a spokesperson come out and say, no, we didn't give that to the Taliban. That was supposed to go to the Afghanistan army of the Afghanistan country to protect them from the Taliban. I've yet to hear them claim that. That's how bad it is. That's how transparent it is that this is part of a deal. Here, you take the country back, you take this equipment, and we'll all just get along. It's looking like it's 600,000 weapons, folks. 600,000 weapons, 75,000 vehicles, 200 aircraft. And there was $85 billion in U.S. funding that went to the Afghanistan army that is no longer the Afghanistan army. It is now the Taliban's U.S. funded army. Isn't that just incredible? I think it is, folks. I really did. It's just... Everyone in the world is pissed off, folks. And this jackass right now, Gigi, our buddy Gigi up there, Gigi B, Potato Head, everyone around the world is laughing at him and also pissed off. A former British commander in Afghanistan is calling for a court-martial of Joe Biden. I don't know how they can do that, folks. You know, I don't say this often, and I don't say this lightly, and I've never said this about anybody else. Any other leader in this position, folks, people are talking about impeaching Biden. I don't think he should be impeached. He's the commander-in-chief of the U.S. Armed Forces, who has essentially just surrendered to the Taliban, right? He shouldn't be impeached. He should be court-martialed for betraying the United States of America and the United States Armed Forces and betraying the people in Afghanistan. There's people who are losing their lives. But this call for court-martial, impeach, and it's incredible. You're gonna just kill this, right? The United Kingdom Parliament, the Brits, the English, they are now holding Joe Biden in contempt and say that what he has done is catastrophic and shameful. The U.S. media, are they telling the United States that our president, right, has been held in contempt by them, right? We saved their English asses from Hitler, and this is what we get? Well, in light of the abject, horrifyingly stupid decisions being made, Biden is the first president to be held in contempt. And he earned it, folks. And he's going to come out and tell us what we should do. He's going to say, yeah, companies, you should fire people unless they do what you say with their bodies. Once again, what happened to my body, my choice? Yeah, it's that bad, folks. It's that bad. Good old Grandpa Joe. And you can't make this shit up, folks. As Afghanistan is just turning into a bigger and bigger shit show, he's going to come out and warn Americans that during the hurricane, be sure to social distance. What? We need him to tell us that? Isn't that someone else's job? That's really what he's good at? We need to social distance while the Taliban is shooting people at the airport now. Gun battle broke out in Kabul because sniper fire. They started shooting at people. One Afghan soldier is dead. Who knows how many more are injured? And folks, I got to ask the question, why wouldn't the Taliban snipe their enemies? Their enemies are everybody in that airport. It's fish in a barrel time. Who's their enemy? People that are running away from them. It's patently obvious how stupid this whole show is, folks. This entire shit show is all on Joe, the Secretary of Defense, the Pentagon, the Congress, Washington, D.C., the FBI, the CIA. Oh, yeah, the CIA, that guy, right? Former CIA Director General Michael Hayden says it's a good idea to drop off Trump supporters in Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. If that's his attitude and he's willing to share it on a national platform, the world gets to hear it. And he used to be a very authoritative person. What does that tell you about the mentality of people who are still in the CIA, still running the CIA, still in power in Washington, D.C.? It tells me that they get the big FOAD from us. They can just go to hell. Folks, there is going to be nothing but hell to pay and trouble because of this crap. This is their attitude towards us. Hey, if you won't drink their Kool-Aid, if you won't buy their story, if you won't kiss their ass and tremble in fear at every word that comes out of D.C., then you need to be dropped off in Afghanistan. Oh, I can imagine. I don't realize it. They put some nods in my room, knocked me out, drug me up, put me on an airplane. I wake up days later feeling groggy and like shit in the middle of the Afghan desert. Oh, I guess I got dropped off. I guess they finally came and got me. I would rather put up with that than to live under the tyranny coming out of Washington and not being able to do anything about it. Sorry for them. I can do something about it, and so can you. And my recommendation is prep to action. Get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, meaning to self, defense. Right? This is America, Jack. Mr. General Michael Hayden, retired former CIA dictator. They're all a bunch of dictators, folks. That's what they are. Bunch of dictators. It's incredible. Make phone calls, emails, text messages, go to rallies, protest peacefully, obey the law. And understand, folks, that actually we, the people, are the source of all authority in this country. All they are doing is sitting in chairs that we said that they're allowed to be in. Folks, it's that bad. It's absolutely that bad. There's a reporter today at the Pentagon, and he decided he would banter with the Pentagon spokesman, John Kirby, because why? Because you're being deliberately vague about the number of Americans who were evacuated from Afghanistan. So, folks, they have no idea how many Americans are in Afghanistan, right? Is it 10,000? No, it's more than 10,000. Well, is it 50,000? Well, it's a lot, you know. Well, what is it? How many? Right? And they have no idea how many have been rescued. Well, what do you mean? When they get on a plane, you can't just keep a running tally and go, okay, 300, 600, 1,500. Okay, we're getting somewhere. How many have actually been rescued? What the fuck do they know about Afghanistan and the American citizens there who can have sniper fire rain down on them at any time? And that's if they're in the airport. What about the ones who can't get to the airport because the Taliban are saying, no. We're not going to let you do this. We're not going to let you do that. There's roadblocks. We want to know who is going. They're holding passports. People are getting beaten, folks. They're getting beaten. I want to thank Mr. Skylight. Sent me an article. He says, Australian truckers warn citizens to stock up on food as they prepare to go down in flames in Australia. Folks, it's good advice here in America. Get prepared. That includes food. Make sure you've got food, spices, meats, because we need meat. We don't eat bugs. We're human beings. We don't have a diet of bugs. We're not fucking anteaters, Bill Gates. Potato Biden. We're not anteaters. We're not going to eat your disgusting, filthy, plant protein, fake meat. And since they're going to push it, folks, get prepared. I mean, they're coming after us, folks. They've got a 3-step plan. Let's break it down for SHTF thinking. Oh, by the way, get your questions in now. It is we're doing my monologue, and then you get the last 30 minutes. Let's get it together. Get your questions in, because I want to hear what you're thinking about as the week has just begun. It has just begun, and I am already overloaded, mentally overloaded. Any resting I got done yesterday, I'm completely over it. It's absolutely incredible. This is their 3-step plan. This is all we need to understand. 3 steps. Where are we at in it? Step 1, divide the country up. Their team, our team. Make sure people hate each other as much as possible, whether it has to do with a Kool-Aid or politics or education or name it. The military, the border issue, name it. Black Lives Matter, Portland, whatever your deal is, right? Divide. Then, once they've got us divided, they know who they don't like, me and you, because we pay our taxes, obey the law, and understand the Constitution and what rule of law means. Demonize us. Divide, demonize, and then destroy. It's happened in every dictatorial takeover. Every tyrannical regime has done these things. Divide, demonize, and then destroy. They kill people they don't like, folks. People that are a threat to them. That's why this jackass wants to send Trump supporters who don't drink the Kool-Aid. They want to send them over to Afghanistan. They want to send all of us over there, folks. But right now they're using the Kool-Aid kid, right? People who don't like Kool-Aid. They're saying, hey, you're the problem. And so they're extra demonizing us. It's crazy stuff, folks. It is absolutely crazy. I mean, we got President Trump out there. He's battling on that level. We're battling on this level. Trump says, when you're woke, you're a loser. Everything woke turns to shit. That's true. I mean, for me, it's just absolutely clear the difference between the political leftists and people who want to be free, normal. I'm not right wing. I'm not extreme right wing. I'm not crazy. I'm normal. Normal. You know how people want life to get back to normal? That claim out there because they don't like masks and they don't like lockdowns. They don't like tyrannical governors telling them what to do and destroying businesses. They don't like that. They're normal. Everyone says we want normal life again. Well, not until you do everything we want. Well, people have done it and they still don't get to have their freedoms, normality. But yeah, normal. Walk down the street. Conduct business. Be left alone. Have privacy. Government's restricted. Normal. They've turned that to shit, folks. The wokies, the left-wingers, look what they're doing to this country right now. Out of the White House, out of Congress. Who's on our side in government? Oh, that's right. You just realized it. None of them are on our side in charge. There is no power structure anywhere in this country that's on our side. They have demonized us and divided us. Divide, demonize, and now all that's left, folks, is to destroy us. That's where we are at. It's easier to break something than to create something. They're having a hell of a time breaking our country and breaking us. It's absolutely incredible, folks. The world is falling apart. And the United States military and its allies have been getting their asses handed to them by the Taliban. And of course, the world is pissed at Joe because Joe was supposed to be in charge of all this. But get this, folks, the Taliban won't extend the August 31st deadline for a U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. They're not going to extend it. Taliban says this. This is what they said. Complete the evacuations by August 31st or face consequences. What are the consequences of people being stuck in that airport? What are the Taliban consequences of people being stuck in the airport, not evacuated, not rescued, not saved by the country that they were serving over there? What are the consequences? What rules is the Taliban operating under? Well, they're a caliphate and they operate under Sharia law. They're the religion of peace. And I imagine that there's just going to be an enormous number of executions by August 31st. And they may say, no, you were supposed to be done by August 31st. So you only had till August 30th to get out. We found you on the 31st, and now you're done. It's a threat, and it's coming from somebody, a group that is pretty much good to their word. If there's one thing the Taliban is good for, is being good to their word about their radical natures, because they are despotic. They are tyrants. And while they're a tiger by a different stripe, right? They're still a tiger, they still have stripes, and they're still tyrants. They kill people that they don't like. They demonize people they don't like. They use tyrannical, barbaric measures to take care of their enemies. You know, kind of like the ex-CIA director who would want to send me and you over to a country where we're guaranteed death. That's a CIA director, folks. CIA director wants us dead. Now, if we heard that the Taliban was saying, hey, we should send people we don't like into the volcano, they normally would be outraged. What do you mean you're going to throw people in the volcano? That's certain death. Sending us over to Afghanistan is certain death, but it's okay for him to say it. Why? Folks, this was a general at one point in the military. A general saying that about other Americans. What kind of piece of shit is he to say that about Americans that he doesn't like for political reasons? They're Trump supporters. What does that say about military men? They can be partisan. They are partisan. And what does it say about a partisan military man in the United States of America that wants other Americans to be killed? It says you can't trust their partisanship because they're promising, they're threatening, they're making light of the fact that they want to kill everyone. Folks, are you prepared yet? Are you prepared yet? You better be, because they're telling us exactly what's going on. They're telling us exactly what they want. And we're going to see another terror regime in Afghanistan. They could end up taking thousands of people and ceremonially executing them in front of the whole world. And it's going to be obvious whose fault this is, folks. 1 week, folks, 1 week to get how many tens of thousands of Americans out of Afghanistan? Is Joe Biden? Is the CIA? Is the Department of Defense, the Pentagon, going to let all of those Americans fall into the hands of the Taliban, who said, yeah, you can come and remove people? And then the government's like, well, we can't get people out. We don't have the resources. We haven't planned this right. Yeah, no shit. Folks, this is why they can completely fuck up their New World Order takeover, their Great Reset. Oh yeah, they're perfectly capable of screwing it all up because they're the government and they're idiots. It's just fucking stunning to me. And we're supposed to just be cool with it. Folks, what did they expect the Taliban to do, right? Say, oh, it's cool. We'll give you an extension on your get the fuck out of our country program, right? The U.S. military and allies have been shredding Taliban fighters wherever they found them, holding them in their hidey holes in the desert, in the hills for 20 years. And when they find them, they would wax them. So now they were allowed to come out and head down into the cities and take things over, right? So the U.S. administration, idiots, expects them, the Taliban, to be generous, to be fair, and even good to their word on everything, right? This is a massive demonstration of U.S. foreign policy weakness and failure, cowardice, and even more failure. You never ask an enemy for permission, especially when American lives are at stake. Can it be more obvious how screwed up our entire world is? And who's running it? Who's in charge? Who are the little teeny men and women in Washington, D.C.? The Bidens, dark helmet, Nancy Pants, old 90 proof Stoopy. Right? These are the people in charge. This, to me, stinks of fabricated, coordinated, cooperative treason. It is beyond the pale at this point. And so what is Russia's response? Russia has decided to, they're ready. They are now ready to ship weapons to Central Asian allies of theirs, countries that are surrounding or near Afghanistan, to prevent the flooding of their regions with what? Armed terrorists. Terrorists who have American vehicles, American grenades, American ammunition, American guns, American drones, American ordnance and explosives. Yeah, Russia has armed a terror nation, folks, that could spell trouble for its neighbors. So you bet Russia's like, I guess we're going to have to ship weapons so you can protect yourselves against these idiots that Joe Biden has just armed to the teeth. What do we know about these countries? They want to spread their words of peace amongst everyone. You bet they're all concerned about this. They just destabilized the entire region. Absolutely incredible, folks. They're threatening the United States, and, well, August 31st, I guess they can start executing everyone by the thousands. Now, what's going on back home? Oh, yeah, we got a hurricane coming, so everyone be sure and social distance. Meanwhile, in Portland, Antifa has established a new autonomous zone. And of course, they go after the media, and they don't like anyone unless it's their media taking pictures of them and video. Right now, there's an autonomous zone in Portland. This time, it's not at Mayor Wheeler's house. So I guess he's going to let this one fly. So if the government recognizes an autonomous zone, then what do we have there? In an autonomous zone, there is only the law of the local warlord. Whoever that person is, or small group of people, it could be a cadre, it could be a small committee, but odds are there is a strong man there, a warlord. That's the law of the land, because the police aren't allowed in, so they can't enforce the law, any other law, or any other statute, or any other belief system. So I ask this, if that autonomous zone is 100% under the control, not of the United States of America, not of the state of Oregon, not of the city of Portland, and not of the people of any of those, and it is under the control of a local warlord, what if some other group wants to send in their warlord, their strongman? Can the Proud Boys or other free Americans go there and declare to be their autonomous zone and have gunfights and shoot it out with these people and take over the autonomous zone? Well, why not? There's no law enforcement there. Who's to stop them? Are the police going to stop Proud Boys, American patriots, from going in there? What authority do they have to stop people from going in there when they have no authority inside there? It is mind-boggling, this idea that they can have an autonomous zone where they act independent of all government and laws, rules. It makes no fucking sense. Now, let's just assume that the Proud Boys go in and take it over. And they say, look, there's going to be no taxes, no government regulation over the inhabitants. Everyone owns their property. There's no property taxes. You're free to move about however you want inside the autonomous zone. Will the police go in then and say, hey, we can't have a bunch of right-wing people inside having their own autonomous zone? Well, they're not willing to do that to stop the leftists, folks. But I think we all know if it was owned, this autonomous zone, by a right-wing warlord, they wouldn't allow it. Well, how about this then? Well, because warlords aren't elected by the people. How about if counties? How about if Yolo County, Shasta County? How about Siskiyou County? How about Lassen County, California? All these counties up north. Why don't they declare the county to be an autonomous zone, free of restriction from the federal government and the state, and the people can just be free? After all, the counties have elected officials that the people put in charge. Can't they declare autonomy? Which is the same as secession, is it not? Because in secession, you say to the government, say we're talking about the country of Georgia, the independent free state of Georgia is part of the Russian Federation. That Georgia, not the one in the south. That Georgia over there tells Russia, Moscow, Putin, we are autonomous. We're completely distinct and separate from you. Russia's going to go, so what you're saying is you're seceding from the Russian Federation. Right. An autonomous zone declares itself to be independent of all other authority. which is it's an asinine principle on the scale that they're doing it. Where are you getting your water, your electricity, your food, your supplies? You're not really autonomous. You're just lawless. This is what they call their mission, folks. This is what they're doing. This is shit hitting the fan. Another left-wing idea, whether it's screwing up the country with their frickin' Kool-Aid kids, or whether it's screwing up the world with Afghanistan and arming a terrorist organization with billions and billions of dollars in equipment, or whether they're screwing up domestically and letting local terror groups take over parts of cities, burn cities, loot, rape, murder, everything else. No problem. It's cool. Divide the country, folks. Then they demonize everybody. And then those people that have been demonized, you destroy them. You get rid of them. This is the United States of America. Go peek out your windows. It looks the same. Streets all have those same names. The lights are on. People are getting food, living their lives. But look what they're doing. They're destroying it all. Get prepared. Let's see what you want to talk about. I want to know what's on your mind, what you're seeing, what is your opinion. And that's really what we're doing. I'm not telling you how to live your life. I'm asking you guys, what do you think? What's your conclusion? What's on your mind? So we got Steve, USMC, no tolerance, Semper Fi, Steve. He said, Biden says that he does not trust anyone. Know why? He can't remember their names or what they do. Oh, this was just great. President Biden, do you trust the Taliban to do as they say and not hurt Americans? And I believe his answer was, I don't trust you, to the reporter. I don't trust anyone, including you. It's a completely stupid, nonsensical answer. That wasn't the fucking question. Do you trust the Taliban to not kill Americans? Not kill, I don't know, English, French? Who else is there? Do you trust them or not? Well, I don't trust them or you or anyone. It is ridiculous. He doesn't remember their name. He doesn't know who he trusts. It's completely stupid. It is. Anyways, thank you, Steve, very much. We're in big trouble, folks. They don't know how many Americans are there, how many have been rescued. They have no plan to rescue them, and now all of a sudden they're going, well, maybe we should. Well, it's best to leave it up to the American people to figure out how to get to the airport, because there's a bunch of terrorists with $85 billion worth of military training and equipment to stop them. As if the civilians there were trained to do with this, trained to deal with it, trained to get through it, trained to figure it out. It's asinine. Okay, we got Dangerous Freedom. He says, how do we remove the unelected three-letter agencies? I have a few ideas. Okay, there was a president, John F. Kennedy. Way back in 1963, was talking about breaking up the Central Intelligence Agency, splintering it into 1 million pieces. In other words, destroying it utterly. Because way back then, folks, that was before this guy was even born. Not that old. But yeah, 1963. He knew that they needed to dismantle it and take it apart. It was too dangerous and too powerful back then. Here we are, folks, 58 years later. The Central Intelligence Agency is still in place, stronger than ever, more funded than it ever has been, and their former leaders are saying that Americans should be sent to lands where they will be religiously persecuted, culturally persecuted, and murdered. That is our government workers telling us what they think of their own citizens. Can you fucking believe it? Well, you better, folks, because it's real. This is not fun for me, folks. This is not fun at all. I don't like saying, yep, I was right, because the consequences, the dire consequences to us for what they've done, horrifying. Bonnie Blue checks in, and I want to thank you, Bonnie Blue, very much for the information you've been providing lately. Says, will Gigi Biden send the U.S. BP to Afghanistan to process Refugees, total open our borders. U.S. Border Patrol. Are they going to send U.S. Border Patrol to Afghanistan? No, what they're doing is they're now landing, folks. Afghanis are now showing up in the United States of America. There was a news story that they showed up in Washington, D.C., not Washington State, but Washington, D.C., and I think Dulles Airport. You start offloading planes, like any plane is going to have anywhere from 300 to 600 people on it, depending on which jet they stuff them in. I mean, it's not like you can just send them back and go, oh, well, I don't like your paperwork, you're out of here. Where are they going to put them? Well, I know. We can put them in FEMA camps. I know. We can put them in sports stadiums. Who's going to feed them? Who's going to pay for it? Oh, yeah, we will. We'll out of our food supplies, folks. As food cost goes up, let's add a couple more million people to this country. We're already adding all of these people at the southern border. Let's just add a few more mouths to feed, a few more million mouths to feed, and then support them with more, printed money, meaning your currency and mine is going to be worth even less. You bet. It is a head scratcher, folks. I am scratching my head going, I can't believe it. I can't believe this level of stupid is going on. This was created by Biden, folks. How many tens of thousands of Afghanis are coming in? I got a better question for you. How many of these Afghanis that are coming over, how many of them are super secret squirrel Taliban infiltrators who just want to come over here and set up sleeper cells? Lone wolf adherents, sleeper cells. How about this? How about Afghanis coming over here that are Taliban because their paperwork? What are you going to do? Send them back? I don't like your paperwork. We think your paperwork is forged. You can just say, hey, look, I just did anything I could to get on the plane and get out of that crazy country, right? These people can go and start recruiting people to join their cause. Do we need more of that in this country? Don't we have enough bullshit going on thanks to the Democrats allowing groups that have an idea? You know, Antifa is just an idea. BLM is just an idea. But Trump supporters are terrorists. That's our country. That's our government. Yeah, so now they're landing all these people. They're not going to process them overseas. No, they're processing them here. And now what's the difference, right? If they can overcrowd the borders, may as well just overcrowd all the airports where they land them. It is incredibly disturbing and disheartening to see our government this far removed from reality. And they're not going to get better. Yeah, there's going to be food shortages around the world. Yeah, food's going to get a lot more expensive. I recommend everyone get stocked up on all the food you can now. There's only going to be, I don't know, 10, 20, 30, 40,000 people listening to this message. And I'm sure other channels are going to say the same thing. Other forms of media are going to say the same thing. Yeah, there's going to be shortages and a massive increased cost. It's not going to be helped by the fact that there's millions of mouths here that need to be fed by us while they're going to do what? Shut down our farms. Tell us, well, you need more square foot per pig or you can't sell your pig products. Or maybe they'll just say, hey, we got a African swine flu outbreak here. We need to get rid of all of these pigs. Oh, we got a mad cow outbreak here in America. We need to get rid of all of our beef. Sorry, no more beef. Hey, we got El Pollo Loco, crazy chicken disease in this country. We need to get rid of all the chickens. You can have some bugs for dinner, and you can have some miracle mystery meat, or you can stock up what you can afford because of what is coming, folks. We've got Mark DeJackal Klingen. He says, why are we being forced to take something without human rights to save the world, yet we still have to wear face diaper and keep 2 meters from other people. Why are we being forced? Because there is an agenda. This is not an accident. This is not organic. This is synthetic. It is fabricated. It is being pushed. It is a giant crock of shit, meaning there's a lot of unknown to us. Now, see, when you are the person taking action against another person or persons, when you're the actor, right, you're sending out your desire. They are telling us we're the ones being acted upon and being pushed, herded, guided, having demands and mandates put on us. It's because they have an agenda. They're pushing in a certain direction, are they not? They're not saying, it's up to you guys, you're free. Here's some options for living a good life. We recommend this, but do what you want because you're a free people. No. They're saying this is a mandate. You have to do this. And people are refusing. So what's their response? They're going to try and bribe people. They've tried that. They coerce them. They try using fear, and then ultimately they're going to use threats. They want to use corporations to make demands on us. If you own a business, this is Gigi Biden, if you own a business, you need to make all your employees believe what we have to say, or you can fire them. Who the fuck is he to tell Americans they should lose their jobs? That's our president. You people out there need to lose your jobs because you don't believe me, because I'm a big giant dumbass who just ruined world security with Afghanistan. That's who this guy is. And businesses are going to obey him. You bet a lot will. Folks, this country has been divided. We're being demonized and punished. Hey, if you don't do what they say, right, then you won't be able to buy or sell. Ultimately, that's where they're pushing. You won't be able to buy food. You won't be able to sell goods. They're taking away our currency. They're making it. This is total tyranny, folks. This is not tyranny light. This is not, it's just a little law, just comply. They're going great guns on everything. Fucking cities are out of control, defunding the police. Police are quitting everywhere, saying, fuck it, I'm not playing this game. People's rights are being destroyed. They're holding prisoners in Washington, D.C. Right? They just abandoned tens of thousands of Americans in a country full of terrorists that they've armed and said, well, you're on your own. Fuck you. And if you manage to get on a plane, they're going to charge you, what, $2,000-$3,000 for the ride? What, sniffing someone else's armpit, the back of their head? Because you're crowded in there like cattle car. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, folks. Imagine 3 years ago. Cast your mind. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 10 years ago. You had rights. This is America. It was free. You could travel where you wanted. Things were basically normal. And we had some problems with the economy and some problems with our currency and some problems with Wall Street. We had some problems in politics. We had some problems. But it was still America and it was still free. Look where we're at now. Literally now. Do this or we're killing you. We're that far from that actual statement happening. Now they're just saying, oh yeah, we ought to do it that way. We ought to do this. We ought to send you to Afghanistan. We ought to send you into camps. We ought to send you for deprogramming. We ought to send you to gulags. We ought to deny you the ability to buy food. We're going to deny you the ability to get health care. I thought health care was a human fucking right, according to Obama and the left. Human right. Everyone has access to health care. Not now. No. Everyone that they want. But if you don't drink their Kool-Aid, you cannot go get into the hospital. That's what they want, folks. They want to deny you health care now. And don't try pointing it out to them and calling them hypocrites and saying, I thought it was a human right, an American right, a human right to have access to health care. Well, only if you obey them. They're fucking hypocrites. They're liars. They have an agenda. They have a mission, and they're going to do all they can to accomplish it. And you can sit back on your big fat ass and do nothing about it, or you can get prepared and prep to action. It's not a game anymore. It's not a what if. It's a look at what's happening. We got David. He says, John, I'm in California and we have an exit plan, but not for a couple years. I'm surrounded by libs and I'm getting worn down. About to lose my job after the Food and Drug Administration's decision today. I'm not giving up, but I am tired. Okay, here we are, folks. Number one, government is going to mess all of this up. They're going to mess it up. Whether you're talking about the federal government, California, Illinois, New York, it doesn't matter. Even Florida and Texas, they're going to mess it up. All of the states are going to mess it up. Hawaii, look at Hawaii. It's fucking jacked up. Jacked up. They're all going to mess things up. They're going to mess up our plans and they're going to mess up their plans. Now, the bigger a project is, the more complex it is. The more moving parts, people, machinery, potentials. Can't control the whole apparatus, but you can prep for yourself and your family and your group and get ready for all the stupid that's coming. Don't give up. They're going to fuck it up, though. And it doesn't matter where you're at, governments everywhere are going to ruin this, and people are going to lose their minds and make things even worse. But you can take care of you and your family and your group, maybe your community, whatever you got going out there, folks. Coordinate with each other. Get ready for it. Do not give up. Understand that evil is destructive, but goodness has always prevailed. Right? Now, if evil always wins, then how did we get the United States of America? Well, it's because evil failed. See, providence always provides a way. Good ultimately defeats evil. It doesn't stop evil from being destructive. It won't stop evil from doing bad things. Hitler did very bad things. The Soviet Union did very bad things. China did very bad things. Right? The only one that's left right now is China. All the other evils have gone away. Evil King George, done. Gone. Evil King Louis, gone. Heads chopped off. Right? Evil ends up losing, but they commit a lot of heinous acts and people get killed. Civilizations or empires crumble, but good ends up winning because evil is dumb. And if you need any more evidence that evil is dumb, just go listen to Biden for a few more minutes. Now, don't give up ever. What they want to do, what the evil wants to do is wear you down. They want you to get tired. They want you to quit and just say, okay, I'll go along. I'll go along to get along. That's called attrition. It's called attrition. You can win a war using attrition. You can wear an enemy down. They get tired, weak, they run out of supplies. That's called attrition. Right? Attrition. That's what they're trying to do, is wear us down. Don't let them wear you down. That's a decision. It's a choice. Right? That's a choice. That's what they want to do, is wear us down. Don't let them do it, folks. Have your faith, your belief system. Understand that good always wins. Understand, yeah, it's going to be difficult, but you have a plan. That's what the have a plan is. The prepared mind, food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and have a plan to deal with the people in your world, wherever your world is. You know, there's no guarantee, but it's certainly going to be a lot easier to deal with the bullshit out there if you have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, etc., right? It's going to be a lot easier if you can have that. So I'm sorry you're going to have to wait a couple of years to get out of California, but folks, for a long time I was like, you know what, I'm just going to stay in California and deal with this right here. I'm a little further east than California now. A lot of people are a lot further south than they used to be. People are migrating to where they think they need to be. I'm sorry you have a couple of years, but left in California. You're going to deal with a lot of shit right where you're at. Make sure your plan accommodates it. Right? It's not good. A lot of people don't like cities. A lot of people think cities will be great in SHTF. Right? I basically say pick your poison. None of it's going to be fun. None of it's going to be fun. But don't let them wear you down. Bonnie Blue says this: Will the Gigi Jaiden Harris Afghanistan disaster hasten, increase, speed up the fall of the U.S. petrodollar as allies lose all confidence in the U.S. federal government? My answer to that, the U.S. petrodollar, for those of you who are new to this, the petrodollar is the United States dollar. Its value is closely tied and linked to oil industry. In order to buy oil, which every country needs to fuel the economy, literally the energy, they have to use United States dollars to make the purchase. Literally, you have to use dollars. Let's see. Gaddafi said he was only going to accept gold, and then Gaddafi died a few days later. And he wanted the gold dinar, and he wanted to be paid in gold for Libyan oil. Let's see, I believe Saddam Hussein back in the 90s wanted to be paid, I think, in euros. And then he ended up going bye-bye again as well. It is going to increase or hasten not just the confidence in the United States federal government and confidence in the United States petrodollar. It's gonna cause a loss of confidence in all things United States, and the world will look around and say, well, what can we put our trust in? Now, I like what it says on the money. It says, in God we trust, right? That's a good starting point. But the rest of the world's going to look around and say, well, who can we trust? What is safe? What is good? Right? The U.S. government is printing tons of these dollars. We're printing tons of these dollars. What value does it have? Right? If they've got a printing press that's just going brrr, and just spitting paper out, by the billions, literally daily. Yeah, it's going to hasten the fall of the U.S. petrodollar. But the world, what other choice do they have? They're going to go with the worthless euro. They're going to go with the worthless yuan, the worthless yen, the worthless peso. What are they going to go with, right? Well, they just need to say all of it's bad and introduce their central bank digital currencies, the CBDCs. Euro, the European Union, they want to have their own central bank digital currency. And then they control all the currency, folks. Then they can spank you when you're bad by shutting down your banking system. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's a great question to ask. Thank you, Bonnie Blue. Yeah, it will hasten it. Will it make it dramatically faster? I don't know. It could. It could. If war develops in the region, it could greatly increase the speed at which things collapse. That I don't know. Is additional war going to happen there, or is it just going to slowly descend into chaos? First Afghanistan fails, then did anyone forget about Iran and Iraq being right there? Iraq is another country in between Afghanistan and Iran. Iran is no friend of the United States, and now Afghanistan isn't. I wonder if any country would be interested in taking over Iraq. Oil fields? Will the U.S. hold the oil fields there? Why did we give Afghanistan to the Taliban when they could have given it to the Iraqis? Are the Iraqis not that stable, not that good? Or would the people of Afghanistan not like Iraqis? Are they different culturally, tribally enough that it would be a problem? Certainly, they're not going to like the Iranians. It's going to be a mess over there, folks. The whole area can fall apart very quickly. The United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Somalia, you could just fall apart. Bioxo checks in and says, did you see heels up in Singapore? Heels up is Vice President Kamhola. Did you see heels up in Singapore? Funny, I didn't know Mexican border was in Singapore or Afghanistan for that matter. Also, thanks for the reply on that news story I sent. You're very welcome. while the world turns, they send Kamala Harris around the world to further embarrass the United States. She's a total embarrassment. Cackling and laughing about Americans trapped in Afghanistan. She isn't fit, in my opinion, to serve in any position, any executive position. She's demonstrated an inability to speak intelligently, period. I doubt she could do this show and talk about everything that's happening in the world without, I don't know, breaking down, crying or laughing or something. I mean, she's supposed to be the vice president of the United States. One banana peel away from being the president. Remember when Trump was president and they're like, we need to get the nuclear football away from him. He's too dangerous. We don't know what he's going to do next. What is Biden, right? What is he? How dangerous is that guy? How dangerous is that guy? He's got the nuclear football. He can't even remember, folks, anything. Who do you trust? Do you trust the Taliban? I don't trust anyone. Well, who do you trust? Right? And we're supposed to trust him. All right. Statement from John, or for John. This is from Jason Walker. He says, got sent home for 14 days in Mississippi. 2 weeks of hard prepping ahead of me. Thanks for the last 6 years of direction you have given me. Jason, you are welcome. In Mississippi, they have some special rules now. They're going to continue to push. And I cannot talk about the topic, folks. There are many, many topics that are being addressed either in my comments, news articles, or videos on Patreon. If you're on the Prepared Mind network, or networks, if you will, on YouTube, that's great. But if you want all of the information, what has happened in Mississippi today, I strongly recommend you get over to Patreon. It is only $2 a month. It is only 7 cents a day. And with hyperinflation coming, it's going to be worth even more value-wise for your $2 spent. But yeah, we do need you over on Patreon because, folks, we could just disappear off of YouTube. Disappear off of YouTube. But we're going to continue to do what we do. We've got backup plans to our backup plans, folks. Never worry about that. But you do need to be in the best position to take advantage of all the available information. And they're coming at us harder and faster every single day with more shit. More rules, more restrictions, more mandates, more uncertainty, more shortages, more demands. And people say shit hasn't hit the fan. Oh, really? As soon as it hits you and affects you, you lose your job, your house. You get canceled as a human being. Shit has hit the fan for you. If you drink the Kool-Aid and keel over, heels up, that's pretty much shit hitting the fan. As Thompson says, how can a person, be it by pen or voice, truly justify their convictions? How is that not bowing to their twisted justification, not honoring the spirit of your own convictions? Well, here it is, man. This is for everyone, and I want everyone to pay, if you will, close attention. Get out your secret squirrel decoder ring. Think about it for yourself. The courage of your convictions is what defines us each as human beings. Who are we individually? Who are we as a people? Are we, as Joe Biden would say, an idea? No, we're real flesh and blood people. We're real. The courage of your convictions. What does your conviction say? Be good. We live by the golden rule as patriotic Americans, right? You do unto others as you would expect and want them to do unto you, right? But we're having things done unto us that we didn't do to them. We are not forcing the government to do anything. We're not forcing other people to do. We don't want to force others because we don't want to be forced. So we've lived by the golden rule, folks. But that is not going to work in our near future. We're being pushed into something else, something terrible. And it can't be avoided at this point. Because they're doing unto us, as many of us think deserves to be done to them. They are telling us, folks, our own countrymen, sometimes our own family members, that we should be killed, that we should go kill ourselves, that we should be sent to Afghanistan, that we should be put in a concentration camp. That's what they're saying to us. The courage of our convictions. We have a right to life, a right to liberty, a right to self-defense called the Second Amendment. We have a right to speak. We have a right to our religious belief system. Mine is I'm an individual. This is my spiritual, religious belief system. And it mirrors the Constitution. It mirrors the Declaration of Independence. I am a free and sovereign being. And I won't hurt anyone as long as they're not hurting me. But once they start hurting me, all bets are off. No longer are you, in my opinion, right? A lot of people will say this. Well, if you were my brother and you slapped me, I'd turn the other cheek, right? Go ahead and slap this one too. I've been slapped around a lot, and I've realized that the people doing the slapping are not my brothers. They're not my brethren. Right? The only thing we have in common is we're sharing the same real estate. The courage of your convictions. At some point, it's happening, folks. And we call this the Mad Max flashpoint. Some people call it Lexington and Concord. When it happens, right, then everyone is going to act on it. Right now, we're living by the golden rule. I'm not hurting anybody, and I don't want to, and I don't expect to. I'm not telling anyone to do anything violent or bad. I'm not encouraging it or glamorizing it. Certainly, there's nothing glamorous about what the left is doing to this country and what they're forcing everyone to face. But this time is coming when you know your belief system. You know what it is. You know who the problems are. You know what the solution is. They're saying we're the problem and eliminating us is their solution. It's basically reciprocated in thought. They're the problem, folks. They're the ones demanding we sacrifice, we risk, we give up, we give them everything. They're making these demands on us. We're saying leave us alone. They're not going to leave us alone. So what other choice do we have? I think is the point that's being made, is what other choice do we have than to defend ourselves, our rights, our liberties, our way of life, our culture, our traditions, our laws. Right now, those who are in charge of government are violating the law, the real law, capital L, capital A, capital W, the law, which has been put into, it's been incorporated into the body of the Declaration of Independence, into the United States Constitution, or if you will, the Constitution of these United States. That was set down and defined so we could live as free people and use the golden rule and treat others well. And if any authority is needed, the government would provide justice, criminal justice, civil justice, so that we could live in peace amongst each other. That is gone. There is no more living in peace with these other people who want to eliminate us. At some point, and it could be tomorrow for some of us, it could be a month for some of us, it could be a year for some of us. We're going to find out, but it is now inescapable. Look at what government is doing. Look at what evil law enforcement is doing. Look what evil social groups are doing. Look what evil corporations are doing. Look what evil pharmaceutical companies are doing. Look what evil banking is doing. And I'm using the word evil because they're not doing good. They're not helping anyone. They're not helping me. The courage of your convictions is when you have no other choice, when you have no other alternative, when you have exhausted every attempt to redress the government for your grievances, to stop other people from hurting you, when you've done everything you can and you have no other choice but to defend yourself, right? That's when you're going to find the courage of your convictions. Either that or take a knee. Submit to everything they're ever going to demand. And we know now, folks, that these tyrants cannot be satisfied. They demand 2 weeks off. They demand you do this. They demand you do that. They tell you what to do. You can't travel. You can't go out. You can't have this. You can't do that. They can't be satisfied. And they're going to keep pushing us, folks, until they push things too far. It's going to be a Lexington and Concord type moment. You're going to hear about it in, say, suburbia Chicago. You're going to hear about it coming from Granite Bay up by Sacramento. You're going to hear about it coming out of the farmlands in flyover country, Tennessee, Kentucky. You're going to hear about it from the Appalachian crowds, people who are free. You're going to hear about it, folks, where people say enough is enough, and they start taking the law into their own hands. And again, I don't encourage it, and I don't need to encourage it, because your convictions, your beliefs are going to have no choice, right? Because if you believe you should be free, and you believe that you have rights, and someone is there at your door taking them away, and you do not stand up for yourself at that point, then you never truly believed it, right? So it's coming for us all. When you cross that line, when you take that step, that piece, when you take that action, you know there's no going back. We're almost there. And like I said, it could be another year. They could slow everything down. We're going to find out, folks. And I want you to be prepared. Prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. Chance favors the prepared mind. I think we've probably all got that now, right? We've all basically figured that shit out. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Godspeed, Semper Fi, and I'll be back. Thank you for your support here at the Prepared Mind, and for everyone else too, for taking care of others. I'll be back soon.